Well, I just finished watching Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 3. And I will admit, I am extremely disappointed and dissatisfied with this entire animated adaptation of the great 12-issue series that came out so long ago that fixed so many things that was wrong with the DC Universe at the time. There's no respect for the original context. They basically just plucked and chose a couple of things. Oh, well, the Flash has to die, Supergirl has to die, one universe at the end, and that's all they really did. There's no other redeeming qualities to this animated series. And they could have just done the original 12-issue series in movie format, and you still would have had the same result of one universe at the end. And from there, you could have gone on to whatever the DCU is going to be. But no. It was like they purposely had to kill off all the old animated storylines. So, well, the old Hanna-Barbera universe gets killed off. The Bruce Timm universe, the Teen Titans, all of it gets killed off. Why? It's almost as if James Gunn said, hey, let's make a point that everything that came from DC before is no longer existing. Sounds like what Disney has done to Marvel. Just saying. Or what Disney's done to Star Wars. But no. It is just one of those things where DC animated movies are normally really good. There's been a few exceptions. This one was so bad that it just left me speechless at the end. The only good thing was at the end, there was a nice tribute to Kevin, the voice of Batman. That was it. That's the only redeeming quality of this entire 3-part movie. It just literally left me with a bad taste in my mouth. I mean, part 1 was like, okay, changing a few things. Part 2, but no, it's just one of those things where you don't even have the most important characters in the series. You change everything up. And why? Why? So that the new DCU has a platform going forward? You didn't need to do that. You could have just done this as an adaptation of the comic books. I now dread to imagine how much they're going to butcher the Watchmen animated movie that they're talking about. So no, if you watched the Crisis on Infinite Earths 1, 2, and 3, what do you think of it? Or are you like me, someone who actually read the comic book, liked the comic book, was shocked by the comic book death of Supergirl at the time, shocked by the Flash sacrificing himself, and all the other heroes dying? This was like, oh, we're going to kill off a couple of heroes in one little scene. Done, We'll kill off all the universes that we've all grown up watching, all the cartoons we've watched them. Oh, just ignore them. Just ignore all of them because they don't exist anymore. I don't know. I'm sorry, but I think the DC animated universe right now has just taken a major dive backwards in time. It's kind of like they're just trying to be, well, we want to make it so that, people can accept the new versions going forward. Well, to me, John Stewart's a good Green Lantern, but Al Jordan's the greatest of all time. Just saying. Getting rid of the Teen Titans the way they did. Not having Harbinger in the story at all. I mean, one of the most important things of that comic book series back in then was when Supergirl fought Darkseid, where she actually fought the biggest baddie of all at the time, sacrificing herself. That was a great freaking scene. No, in this, spoiler, in this one, she gets the power of 52 suns and dives into the weird-looking anti-monitor and sacrifices herself. Yeah, they literally couldn't do anything to make it more stupid. It really is. And the one thing that would have been, okay, at least leave us a little egg. Well, in the comic books, another spoiler, in the comic books, Psycho Parrot is the only person left in that new monoverse who remembers the multiverse. In this one, he dies. So yeah, this is a big letdown. Big time. Just a slap in the face to people who actually know the original storylines. I'm worried about what's coming next. Who knows? Maybe when James Gunn's DCU fails, which I think it will, because frankly he's doing stuff that's trying to appease, well, a certain group of people that honestly I think it's a joke to try to appease a minority like that. But I honestly think James Gunn's DCU is going to bomb. I mean, oh yeah, he had Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah, he's bringing all his Marvel actor friends into the DCU, and for what? You've seen pictures already of basically the Superman set, and people are going, what the heck are they doing? They don't like the suit. I don't blame them. It looks dumb. Making Guy Gardner wear a white outfit. I've seen pictures of the Hawkman thing. I mean, the Hawk Girl thing, I should say. And it just, honestly, and his idea of having, well, we're going to have the actors who do the animated characters going to be the same people doing the live action people as well. Well, if you haven't noticed, in the world of animation, voice actors quite often do not look like the characters they're portraying. I mean, just look at it. Samurai Jack, a Japanese samurai, was voiced by a black guy. Now, are you going to change all the roles so that these voice actors can do these things? Instead of hiring real voice actors, you're going to hire actors to do voices just because you can have them in a live action movie down the road. Live action movies, by the way, that are going to take years to film. And what's probably going to happen is some of those actors might get canceled, some might decide not to do it anymore, and you're going to have to recast. They should have just left the DC animated universe to be on its own, let them do the stuff they were doing in the past, which was really good stuff. Instead, they had to tie it into the DCU, which makes no sense to me. And what's going to be worse is, unless you have an old-fashioned Hollywood studio production system where you actually have every film filmed one after the other, kind of like what Peter Jackson did with Lord of the Rings. He filmed all three in one shot, basically. Unless you're going to do that with all your DCU movies, you're going to have major gaps between the stories. You're going to have major gaps between what the actors are going to look like. And let's just put it this way. You didn't like the Flash movie. It took over 10 years to make, and look what happened to that. You don't want Henry Cavill Superman or Ben Affleck as Batman. Well, what are you going to have? Oh, but it's okay for the Batman universe to be separate? Give me a break. Crisis on Infinite Earths could have been a great animated trilogy. Instead, it's a slap in the face of every decent DC comic book fan out there. If you don't agree with me, well, that's your choice. But have you read the original series? That's all I'm going to say.